Hello, and welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be covering the most difficult pets to acquire in RuneScape 3 and how you can get them today. Now, most players know that pets are considered prestigious, and when you get a pet drop, it's really fun to flex it and show it off to your friends. But these have to be some of the most elite of the elite pet drops. So if you see someone with one of these pets, you know they've put in a lot of time into that boss or were super lucky in order to get that as a drop. Now, there are going to be some rules for making this list. So as of the date of this video, these pets must have been released, so this is not obviously covering any future content, and it must be accessible to get, so it can't be any previously locked content. This isn't about doing the rarest, it's about doing the stuff that's hardest to acquire as of right now. As well, the pet has to have a known drop rate, so unfortunately this does remove any new pets that have recently come out and their drop rates have not been released, as well as removing any pets you could purchase, such as Richie. Now, there are going to be pets on this list that you've never seen before in game, that maybe you've never even heard of before, and that's why I want to open your eyes to this, because some of the feats that people do in order to get these pets are truly amazing, and I just wanted to share just how rare these pets are to get in the game. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off this list, we are going to have VITALIS, the Virago pet drop. Now, VITALIS is unlocked via the Ancient Summoning Stone, which is a 1 in 5,000 drop rate from the Virago boss. Now, if you've never done Virago before, he drops 5 piles of loot spread across the different roles during the kill, being the DPS, the base tank, and the bomb tank. And basically, the more difficult role you do, the more chances you have on the loot table. So if you do bomb tank, you're averaging about 2.3 loot piles per kill, which is going to translate into about 12 to 14 rolls per hour. So doing the most difficult role at Virago to get pet would take on average 384 hours to complete, and thus that's why it takes our first spot on this list. The next pet on this list is going to be a very well-known tedious pet to get, and that is going to be Penny, the Shadow Manifestation. Penny was released in 2014 with the Prifddinas update and is composed of 3 different drops from separate monsters that are combined together into the pet. The Truthful, Blissful, and Manifest shadows found in the Amlon clan drop the Dark Soul, Dark Mind, and Dark Body respectively at the rates of 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000, and 1 in 3,000, making the total drop rate for this pet 1 in 6,000. Now, by no means are shadows hard to kill, they're actually pretty easy and AFK, but most people aren't going to want to grind out 6,000 of them. With the release of player-owned Slayer dungeons, people can take the shadows and put them inside to farm for the pet a little bit easier, but definitely back in the day, this was a rare pet to see, and still is to this day one of the rare pets in the game, due to the tediousness of killing all these shadows. Next on the list, we have KRAR Jr. Now, KRAR Jr. isn't a drop per se, but is more of an event-based pet. KRAR Jr. is the miniature form of KRAR in the Beastmaster encounter and can be found within the Nemi Forest in Mazcab. Each week, 1 KRAR Jr. can spawn within the Nemi Forest, meaning that every minute that you wait in the Nemi Forest for KRAR Jr., you have a 1 in 10,000 chance of seeing it. A common strategy for this pet would to be camp one world for a long period of time, spending X number of hours per day in the Nemi Forest waiting for KRAR Jr. to spawn, and thus being able to essentially get the pet after about a week of waiting. However, it's not that simple, as if you miss KRAR Jr. once within that week period, you have to wait essentially a full extra week worth of waiting time in order to find the pet. So the less time you spend per day looking for him actually can lengthen the grind significantly. To make it even worse, it is a global drop, meaning that if you are AFK in the world and KRAR Jr. spawns in that world, and another player interacts with KRAR Jr., you've lost your chance at obtaining the pet, and that player gets the pet instead. This pet, definitely in my mind, is one of the most tedious pets to get because you're not even interacting in combat with anything, you are simply sitting and waiting. Next on the list, we have one of our highest level requirements, EDDY. EDDY require 115 dungeoneering to access the dungeon within Privinus, meaning it also requires you having Plague's End completed. Now the pet that we are going to be trying to unlock with the EDDY is EDDY, which is only a drop from the superior version, the powerful EDDY. Every time you kill an EDDY, it has a 1 in 50 chance to spawn the powerful EDDY, which then, on top of that, the pet has a 1 in 512 drop rate from. Throwing this all together, we get a drop rate of 1 in 25,600 in order to obtain the EDDY pet. And just to top it all off, in order to kill the EDDY, you must be on a Slayer task for them, thus making it impossible to just grind for this pet. Next on this list, we have yet another Slayer pet. However, this one can be done off task, but is highly unrecommended to do so due to the drop rate, and this is going to be the Ripper Demon pet, aka the Nipper Demon. Now, fortunately for us, the Ripper Demon does not require the Elite version to drop the pet, and each Ripper Demon has a 1 in 30,000 chance to drop the pet, which isn't great. However, just like EDDY, there is an Elite version of the Ripper Demon called the Slasher Demon, which drops the pet at a 1 in 334 drop rate. Which seems much better, however, the chance of it spawning is much worse off task. When you are on a Ripper Demon task, you have a 100% chance for at least one Elite Slasher Demon to spawn. However, off task, it has a 1 in 1,000 chance to spawn. This means that if you are going to grind for the Ripper Demon pet, you have a 1 in 27,527 chance to acquire the pet, or just shy of 0.003% chance. If you do choose to do it on task, it would take you about 185 Ripper Demon tasks on average to get the Nipper Demon. At this point in time, we should be calling it the most tedious Slayer pets because we have the SOULGAZER pet coming in next on this list. Now, SOULGAZERs are a monster that are very well known for their Hex Hunter bow drop, which is a 1 in 1.5 million drop rate on the regular version. However, we're going to be talking about the SOULGAZER charm, which is not quite that high, but it does sit at a 1 in 750,000 drop rate. And this is why we love elite versions of these monsters. So just like the previous two, the SOULGAZER has an elite SOULGAZER, which spawns at a 1 in 50 chance, which cuts down the drop rate by over 1,000. Which brings our total expected drop rate to be 1 in 35,714 SOULGAZERs, which I can't even comprehend spending that much time killing SOULGAZERs. Now, the final two pets on this list are not going to be boss pets, they're not going to be Slayer pets, but in fact they are going to be pets that drop in sequence with each other to create a very high drop rate for the last pet in the list. So for our second last spot on the list, we have the Glaufrin Banner Carrier, which is a drop from the Champions Challenge D&D. Now, many players are aware of this D&D. How it works is that there are many monsters across Gielinor which drop a Champion Scroll at a 1 in 5,000 chance, and then these Champion Scrolls, you can take them to the Champions Guild to do the D&D and slowly tick them off your list and eventually become the Champion of Champions. However, one thing that many people are not aware of is that when you defeat a champion, you also get Calling Beads, which can summon an imp pet with a banner of the champion that you have defeated. Personally, I think this is an absolutely gorgeous pet. All of the banners have great colors, The images really pop off of them, and it's such a strong flex to say, look at me, I've killed this champion. And the greatest part about it is, you don't even need to kill all 13 of them. You can just stick with one, say the Imp, or the Banshee, or the Aberrant Spectre. All of those are great, but the biggest flex of all is definitely the Glaufryn banner at a 1 in 65,000 drop rate chance. If anyone watching this video has one of these pets, please shoot me a comment in the section below, because I would love to be able to see them in game. And if that pet is the Glaufryn pet, you are an absolute legend. Finally on our list, we have the Revenant pet, specifically the Revenant pet dragon. Now, unlike any other pet drop, this pet is a sequence of pets when killing revenants, and it is obtained as a Revenant Spirit drop. Now, when you are killing the revenants, the higher level the revenant, the higher chance you have at acquiring the Revenant Spirit. However, as you get more Revenant Spirits and unlock more of the pets, the drop rate increases significantly for each pet. Meaning that as you go up and closer to the dragon, the drier you'll go for the pet. For example, if we were trying to obtain our first Revenant pet, the Revenant Imp, if we were only killing Revenant Imps, we would have a 1 in 2600 chance to get it, but if we were only killing Revenant Dragons, we would have a 1 in 297 chance. On the other side of things, if we only kill the Revenant Imp and we keep scaling up the pet all the way up to the dragon, we have a 1 in 37,500 chance in order to obtain the Revenant Dragon drop from a Revenant Imp. However, these numbers are kind of unrealistic because when you're killing Revenants, you are not going to be killing the same Revenant over and over again, but rather doing a combination of them due to spawn times. For the purpose of this video, I have calculated the probability of reaching each pet as shown on screen here with the probability of killing one of every single monster per rotation. There are more optimal strategies. However, for the sake of this video, we are simply saying that each monster is killed once in succession. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. I really hope that you guys learned something today. Maybe you guys found out about a pet that you didn't know exists. Maybe this inspired you to even go search out for one of these pets for your own account. I personally have been really enjoying doing this different kind of documentary style of video. So if you like it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you love it, hit that sub button. But till next time, have a great week, everyone.